What's up, guys? We're back for another review. We're doing some Marvel Legends again. We have got the Thor Ragnarok, Thor and Valkyrie 2-pack. These are MCU characters, so we've got that photoreal tech going on, and full-on movie characters now, at least until they sway me to do otherwise. So I'm pretty interested to take a look at these two, despite the fact that I've pretty much got this figure already. But we've got our standard box here. We've got our figures in the window. We've got some artwork on the side of Valkyrie. We've got some product shots on the back, and we've got Thor on the other side. So not much to talk about there. Pretty standard stuff. Let's pull them out. All right, guys. So here are the movie Thor, movie Valkyrie figures out of the packaging, and just getting it out of the way first. Obviously, this is a very different look for Valkyrie than what's in the comics. I personally don't care. It makes no difference to me what she looks like, if she's black, if she's white, if she's brown, whatever color, makes no difference. I'm very, very interested to see how she pulls off this role, because Valkyrie is a very badass character, and she certainly looks the part. So I'm pretty pumped to see this interpretation of Valkyrie in the movie, because this movie really just looks to be amazing so far. I'm really looking forward to it. These figures in general are pretty good. They've both got a couple things that kind of annoy me. Valkyrie has one in particular, but they've got a lot of good. So we're going to take a look at Valkyrie first, because we've already seen 95% of this Thor figure. He does have some new stuff, and he's got some new accessories and effects, but Valkyrie is the main focus of this review for me. So let's move Thor aside and we'll take a look. All right, so this is, for the most part, a pretty standard Marvel Legends figure. We're going to run through Articulation real quick just to get it out of the way. Head can swivel, it goes down, it goes up, arms go out, they swivel all the way around. We've got elbow rotation and a single joint, and we've got side-to-side hinges on the left hand and side-to-side hinges on the right. She has an upper diaphragm joint, which allows for decent range of motion. Legs can go out a decent bit, but not too far. They can kick forward almost 90 degrees, back just a little bit. Thigh swivel. We have got double jointed knees, and then we have got rocker and hinge at the ankle. So, like I said, you're getting what you expect to get out of a Marvel Legends figure. Big thing here for me is Sculpt and Paint, because in general, she looks really, really good. We've got that photoreal tech going on with the face, and while it's not perfect, I think it's mostly the eyes that are kind of wonky, and this is the only one I was able to pick up, so I didn't really have a choice except leaving her on the shelf, and I wasn't going to do that. But it's okay. I think the photoreal tech captures the likeness pretty decently. We've got sculpted hair that looks really, really nice. A lot of detail in the braids, and then the actual hair that's flowing down in the ponytail. And then in the armor itself, there is a lot of line work here, just a lot of sculpted detail. I'm very, very happy. Very MCU, Thor-esque, Jack Kirby-inspired type designs, that kind of thing. Very, very cool. Very happy to see this figure kind of brought to life, and she looks really good. We've got a free-floating belt here. We've got two sculpted daggers in their sheaths, and whatever this gold thing is supposed to be, not really sure. The daggers are not removable, which is a bit of a bummer, because I know we have seen her using them in a trailer or maybe some promo shots. So at least she has them sculpted on, unlike Loki, who has them on his package but does not include any accessory like that. So we've got a lot of paint going on here. There's a lot of metallic, shimmery style paint. Very nice, very cleanly applied. I don't have any real issues. And then we've got this cape, and unlike all the other figures in this wave, hers is attached. So I had kind of problems with Loki, particularly Loki, and Thor with their capes not wanting to stay on, so I ended up gluing those down, which was fine. But at the end of the day, that kind of bothers me that I have to do that kind of thing when realistically I shouldn't. But other than that, I think she has a really, really nice design. I like the paint choices, and overall she is a very solid figure. My one real gripe comes in with her accessories. She has two accessories. We've got her sword, which is pretty cool on its own. It's just a standard kind of sword. Get it out of her hand here. And it's got this nice kind of marbly, shimmery blue teal type plastic. It's metallic, but it's that marbly kind of metallic, so it's molded that way. And then it's got a white hilt with a silver end on it. And I think it's just really nice. I like the color. It's kind of contrasting to her outfit and just her overall look. This is kind of something that sticks out. The big deal for me is that she comes with a sheath, and while it has a lot of nice detail on it, there's a lot of sculpted kind of like Nordic runes in there. There's no place to put it. Like this doesn't have, it has a hole in it, which makes me think, oh, it's supposed to be pegged into something. But if you put the sword in, you can't really do that, and I can't seem to do this. There we go. So the sword actually fills that hole. So it doesn't go anywhere. My only assumption is that it's supposed to go maybe on her belt. But that's kind of goofy. And that doesn't look right to me. I'm not so sure about that. And if the sword isn't in there, she's holding it. I don't know, something about this doesn't look right. It doesn't seem very functional from a toy perspective. It's going to hold there, so maybe that is the intended use. But this kind of thing bothers me, and as you can see, it's getting warped just being in there, and it stretches the belt out. So, I don't know, that's kind of an oversight on, from my perspective. I don't care for it. I've said it before, I don't like having to put accessories in bags, store them away if they should obviously be able to hold them or have them on the figure. And this is one that this should go somewhere. That's kind of weird. All right, now here is Thor, and we've seen, like I said, like 95% of this figure already. There are a couple differences, accessories, sculpt, things like that. But for the most part, it's the exact same figure. He has the same type of cape that the original figure had, and it still has a problem where it wants to pop out from the peg hole. So I'm just going to put a little glue in there and be done with it, which is fine by me. I don't really care about that. I just wish I didn't have to do it. But putting glue in there will solve the problem. I'm not really going to go over too much about the figure itself. If you want to see this figure, go take a look at that review because it's almost the same. I will talk about the differences though. So the head sculpt is different. This is obviously an unhelmeted Thor, so he doesn't have that kind of teal gunmetal style helmet on. He also doesn't have the face paint, the war paint on his it's on his neck and his face, and then he doesn't have the leg plate, which was just a removable piece on the original figure anyway, so it's not like a sculpt difference. They just didn't include it. But the big thing is the head sculpt. It is different. I think this looks a little bit more like Chris Hemsworth's to me. It looks a little more photoreal, I guess. There is more paint, more shading, and it just looks more accurate to the actor. And of course, this time around, you can see his hair. He's got those kind of buzz lines in there too, which is interesting. But for the most part, exact same figure, same articulation, same paint, same everything. Really what it comes down to are his accessories outside of that head sculpt. So we've got this humongous sword, which I'm pretty sure this is Heimdall's sword, Hofund, I think is what it's called. This is what he uses to open and close the Bifrost. So that's, I don't know, that's interesting to me. I don't know if we've seen that any other way. But it's got a lot of dry brushing on there for some weathering. It's molded in a light gold kind of marbly plastic, and then it's got a kind of wooden hilt with a lot of Nordic style detail in there, which I like. I really like the sword. It's humongous too. It's like 4 or 5 inches tall. And then we've got, this is the most exciting accessory for me, we've got a new effect piece that slips over his hand, and it is a kind of rubbery, obviously it's a lightning effect. I'm pretty sure we're getting one of these with the new Storm figure at some point, right? But it can, it can wrap around, and it obviously fits on his hand just like this, and you can set it on there, and it looks really cool. It's a translucent blue, which I'm a big fan of translucent stuff. He also comes with 2 other hands, so you can switch him up. He can be left-handed for the sword, or he can use the effect piece on his right hand. They're just 2 sets of the same kind of hands, so an open style pose hand, like an energy effect hand, which actually has a lot of detail sculpted in there. And then we've got 2 gripping hands. So he comes with a lot of stuff for extra accessories, and I'm very happy with the sword and very happy with this. So overall, I think he's probably my favorite of the 2, but at the same time, I've already got him. I think it comes down to he comes with all of this cool stuff that really brings him into a different level for me from the original figure. So at the end of the day, this is a pretty decent set. It does have its issues. They're not perfect figures. Valkyrie in particular, she's got kind of wonky eyes, but that's not indicative of every single figure. And I really just don't like the lack of a place to put that sheath. That's just really weird to me. Obviously, Thor is mostly a repack, so if you don't need the helmetless version and you don't need these other accessories, then you don't need to get this 2-pack. Maybe try to get Valkyrie on the aftermarket or, sell off Thor. But he is distinct enough in what he has to offer, so you could have him, maybe both of them on your shelf, or kind of bash them together and make one Thor out of both. I don't know. I don't know what I'm planning on doing with them. I'm going to keep them both most likely, but I do like the inclusion of the sword, and I love the new energy effect, so that's a win for me. So that's going to do it for this look at the Marvel Legends Thor Ragnarok, Thor and Valkyrie 2-pack from Hasbro. Let me know what you guys think, and until next time.